Winning isn't all that, and neither is losing. It's just something that happens. It's the outcome.
As she stood on top of the world, medal in hand, she realized something. None of it felt the way she thought it would. There's only one thing that actually matters, and we've completely lost it. There's a quote that always stuck with me. Love the life you live the life you love. A simple quote attributed to Bob Marley. The everyday, unglamorous act of building something you actually care about and finding joy in the making of it. But over time, we forgot how to do that. And so did she. Because it wasn't always like this. When you were a kid, you did things out of pure enjoyment. We weren't constantly trying to optimize our life or get ahead. We were happy just existing. As we grew older, we were put into a race where everything you did had to be justified with a result. Your hobbies and passions needed to have some sort of monetization behind it. Every moment needed to be optimized. But do we actually enjoy doing these things? Or do we just think it'll bring us closer to the finish line, some imaginary point in the future where all of our problems would disappear? That's what we were taught. That the process, the grind was something you had to endure, that once you reach whatever it is you're chasing, you'll finally be happy. But Alyssa Liu is proof that that's not always true. Because even after she'd won, she realized she was chasing the wrong thing. And you might be too. So how do you actually get it back? I mean, that feeling you had as a kid, because it never left. It was just buried. And at 16 years old, Alyssa Liu found a way to uncover it. The whole world called it a mistake. But it changed everything. A father takes his daughter skating for the first time. His name is Arthur Liu. And to understand Alyssa's story, you first need to understand his. Arthur was born and raised in a small mountain village in China's Sichuan province. He was one of 6 children. He had no electricity or running water, a childhood defined entirely by survival. At 25, he was forced to flee the country due to his involvement in the 1989 Tiananmen Square protests, so he escaped by boat to Hong Kong and then to America, finding himself in the Bay Area with nothing but one belief: that good things were worth suffering for. Endure the pain, work relentlessly, and never stop. However, for him, this wasn't a philosophy. It was the only reason he was alive. And it worked. He earned a law degree from the University of California and later started his own practice. He raised 5 children, all alone, and for a man who built everything from nothing, he believed there was only one path for them: suffer for the outcome. Because on the other side of that suffering was everything. So, inspired by legends like Michelle Kwan and Christy Yamaguchi, he took his eldest daughter skating for the first time. And when he recognized her natural talent for the sport, he became heavily involved in her career. He taught her the only way he knew how, through discipline, effort, and relentless pursuit. He invested thousands into her career, took her all over the world to compete and receive the best coaching possible. Every decision was made with one outcome in mind. And even though his intentions were pure, what he failed to realize was Alyssa's life wasn't his to control. The little girl on ice wasn't thinking about gold medals. She was just having fun. She loved skating. She really loved it, the only way a child can love something, effortlessly, without needing it to mean anything beyond the feeling itself. And you were once like that also. But as you got older, something changed. Ask yourself, when was the last time you picked up something you loved, purely out of enjoyment? You probably can't remember, because that's exactly what happened to Alyssa. By the time she was 10, she was already attempting double axels, a jump that often separates casual skaters from serious contenders. At age 12, she was competing against much older skaters and consistently holding her own. Her big break came when she was 13, where she became the youngest ever US women's champion. The entire country called her a prodigy, the future of American figure skating. And with that pressure came the machine. She would train 4 to 5 days a week, was instructed on what to eat, where, even what music to perform to. Her career was no longer hers. And Arthur watched his daughter's potential unfold, not realizing what it was costing her. The little girl who used to laugh when she fell, who used to play tag in between sessions, the one who loved every moment on the ice. The joy was gone. And there she was, at just 16 years old, standing on the podium after winning bronze in her senior Worlds debut, making her the first US woman to win a Worlds medal since 2016. Yet, she was miserable. She was no longer skating, she was performing. For her coaches, for the judges, for the thousands of fans who only wanted to see her succeed, for a father who loved her so deeply that he accidentally taught her to suffer for the outcome instead of enjoy the journey. His biggest mistake was wanting too hard for her to be her best. So just 1 week after winning bronze, Alyssa unexpectedly announced her retirement from competitive skating. The world was shocked. How could she retire when her future looked brighter than ever? But her retirement had nothing to do with achievements. She had fallen out of love with the process. Even at the highest level, the joy didn't come back. Psychologists call it the arrival fallacy, the belief that reaching a goal will bring lasting happiness. But studies show that happiness from achievement fades almost immediately because every milestone is replaced by another. So you're constantly chasing something that keeps moving, and if you spend your entire life suffering through the process, grinding towards some imaginary finish line where everything finally makes sense, by the time you get there, nothing will have changed. So Arthur had to watch his daughter retire. The outcome that he sacrificed everything for was gone. The man who organized protests against the Chinese government, who fled the country by boat, who built an entire life from absolutely nothing. His greatest achievement wasn't any of that. It was her. And she was the only one he couldn't control. So as Arthur felt like his world was ending, for Alyssa, this was only the beginning. Because for the first time in over a decade, she finally got to live her own life. Since she was 5, all she knew was the ice. She didn't have freedom. She followed a schedule that someone else created. She felt as if her whole life was living someone else's dream. But she wanted more. She wanted a life outside of skating. For her, retirement was a way to connect with her siblings, go to college, hang out with friends, and just do things that normal teenagers would do. She went on her first vacation, her first concert, got her driver's license, trekked Everest Base Camp. She did everything she could to make up for the time she lost. And Arthur reflected on the decisions he'd made, moving her to Colorado right before the Beijing Games, the pressure he thought she needed. He began to understand that his entire philosophy was never designed for true success. And most people don't realize that. They think that success is found after struggle, but real success is simply enjoying what you do every day, and the struggle that people romanticize is the very reason why your joy is gone in the first place. So you don't find joy by chasing it. You find it by removing everything that was covering it up. Alyssa's standing on the edge of a mountain about to ski down it for the first time. And in that moment, she felt something she hadn't felt in years. Adrenaline. The same feeling she had when she was 5 years old stepping onto the ice for the first time. So, she went back. No one asked her to. She chose to. For the 5-year-old girl in Oakland who just wanted to skate, and she landed a triple jump like she never left. Because the joy was never lost. It was always there, but the only way to find it again is to let go. When she walked away from all the pressure, the expectations, everything that was holding her back, she found it again. So to find yours, you need to do the same. Forget about outcomes. Don't stress over things you can't control. Don't give in to pressure, just let things unfold. Do things that have no outcome attached to them. Call your friends, see your family, pick up something you used to love before it needed to justify itself with a result. Be joyful for no reason, because joy doesn't need one. It never did. So Alyssa called up her old coaches and told them she wanted back. And even after they told her she shouldn't, she persisted. But this time, it was on her terms. And her father had a choice. He could either take back control, chase the outcome the way he always had, or he could do the hardest thing he had ever done. Let go. And he did. He stepped back and embraced that his daughter's journey was fully in her hands. A man who survived 35 years by controlling outcomes, choosing to release the most important one of his life. And 2 years after returning, The entire world got to see what happens when someone stops chasing the outcome and falls completely in love with the process. Career best total score 226.79. She just became the first American woman to win gold in over 24 years. But she wasn't talking about the medal. She was talking about the feeling, the same one she felt on the mountain, the same feeling she had at 5 years old, and all that came from her deciding she was going to return on her own terms, with her own music, her own choreography, her own training routine. She started operating purely out of enjoyment, and that became her biggest competitive advantage. Because you can't beat someone who's having fun. Joy will outlast discipline, motivation, even obsession. When you chase an outcome, there's something to lose. But when you love the process, you can't lose because there's nothing to protect. Regardless of which outcome happens, you see your journey as success. And the irony is, the less you need the outcome, the faster it finds you. Everyone who finished behind Alyssa in Milan had been training every single day she was gone. And she came back 3 years later and beat them all because she stopped needing to win more than she loved to skate. And Arthur stood in the crowd watching his daughter perform to Donna Summer with the biggest smile in the building. For the first time in her career, he wasn't controlling anything. And as she stood on that podium, gold medal in hand, he finally understood that letting go was the whole point. Alyssa stopped chasing the outcome. Arthur stopped controlling it. And in that moment, she won everything. I think about this a lot. The idea of detachment, doing things purely for the love of doing it. In a way, I see my own videos like this. Because when I started making them, I didn't have a subscriber goal in mind. I wasn't trying to monetize anything or build a fan base. I simply made videos because I love making videos. I think a lot of my success on YouTube is attributed to that. Before this channel, I actually had 4 others that didn't work out. I could have gotten burnt out. I could have gave up. But since I was 14 years old, picking up a camera for the first time, that thought never crossed my mind. For me, I was just having fun. And somehow, that led me here. But there's one more part of the story that I haven't talked about yet. And for this, we need to go back to where it all started. Arthur almost didn't make it out. Thousands didn't. By determination, and perhaps a little bit of luck, he escaped. But imagine if he didn't. No story. Everything Arthur did, every sacrifice, every struggle, every outcome he chased, he did, so his children could wake up and have something he almost never had. A chance. Just a chance. Not everyone gets that. But you do. And I know some days the process feels like a burden. Some days you wake up exhausted, questioning why you even started. But just stop for a second. Realize what it means that you get to experience it all. You get to wake up today and chase something. Look how far you've come. This is the process. You're living in it right now. And it was always your greatest gift. Stop taking it for granted. Enjoy it. Be grateful for it. Because this chance you have right now supersedes any outcome imaginable. It always did.